actually never talked about this before. If the Cullens got the chance to be human again, would they? So my take on this is actually that most of them would, or most of them would end up doing it. The Cullens in general kind of describe being a vampire as a miserable existence for the most part. So Carlisle, I feel like definitely would, because he has a lot of guilt and, you know, believes that he's damned. And I think that attributes to a lot of his whack and morally twisted decisions. So I feel like Carlisle definitely would. Now, Esme kind of just disconnected from her human life in a Stepford wife kind of way, but along with that, she just does whatever Carlisle does. So if Carlisle was like, hey, we're gonna be human, Esme would just be like, yeah, so true, honey. Kind of just like how she was when she found out that he had turned her into a vampire, because she had been obsessed with him since she was 16 years old. Now, Rosalie, we know, would be the first one to sign up, and she would be so happy. And Emmett actually took to being a vampire and seems to enjoy it more than any of them, really, but we know that he canonically loves most of all to make Rosie happy. So he obviously would for Rosalie, and I think they'd be very happy and they'd get right to having those babies. This one might be controversial, but I feel like Alice would stay a vampire. Alice is very power hungry, and even though I feel like she might maybe make a show about it, she doesn't even remember her human life, and I think she really likes being a sparkly little billionaire snake. She likes cheating the stock market. She likes all her power. I don't think that she would do it, and I feel like Jasper the Confederate would just follow suit with whatever she did. And I think we could say pretty confidently that Dusty would, or at least that's what he tells us that he would, because he goes on perhaps the most about, you know, oh, it's a miserable existence and the monster inside me, and then proceeds to do all these jacked up things anyway that have nothing to do with being a vampire. But he would, and the only way I could see him not doing it is if Carlisle didn't, because he usually follows Carlisle's lead as well. But the other side of this is that if he's not a vampire, I don't think Dusty stands a chance with Bella, and I've always said this, but then again, if Edward was a human, he wouldn't have liked Bella either. This is the one scenario where I actually don't think the old man stands a chance. Like, if Edward wasn't a vampire, I don't think he would have anything to stand on. Like, Jacob would have won 100%.